Hello, welcome or welcome back. My name is Ari, and this week I am reading books from my sci-fi book club book box. That was way harder to say than it should have been. Anyway, this book box is extremely straightforward. It gives me 2 fantasy books a month. You could choose from fantasy or sci-fi. I chose fantasy, and it costs $17.50. They're not new release books. They're older. I mean, not like super old. Not brand new, but not fantasy classics either. And I'm kind of using it as a very, very cheap way to introduce myself to different fantasy authors that I've never heard of. Now, keep in mind, $17.50 for 2 hardback fantasy books. That is very affordable. So far, this is kind of newish to me. I'm on like month 3 or month 4. I'm not 100% sure. Counting is not my strong suit. And I haven't read a whole lot from it yet, but I have read a couple of books from it and enjoyed what I've read so far. So what I have here in my lap right now is 2 books from previous months and the 2 books that I got this month. So I'm kind of like covering a couple of different months, see what they gave me. So let's go through what I have and what I'm going to be reading this month. So first off, I have Fate of the Fallen by Kellcade. Now this is a book that I had already purchased for myself previously, so this is like a duplicate to my collection, which is fine, no big deal. But it gives me the excuse to read it because this is something that sounded very, very interesting to me. What this is a Chosen One story, and the Chosen One fails. And so the Chosen One's friends have to pick up his slack and save the universe, even though they're not the chosen ones of prophecy. And that sounded very interesting to me. I've heard good things about this book from a few people who have read it, so I'm looking forward to reading this. This is going to be the first book that I'm reading out of this collection because it's the one that I am most confident I am going to like. Next up is a book that I don't know anything about and I don't want to know anything about. My interest in this book is solely based on the title of it, and that is Gork, the Teenage Dragon by Gabe Hudson. So, like I said, I don't know what this is about. It's got awful ratings on Goodreads. So, I'm not expecting a lot out of this, but it sounds fucking hilarious. So, I'm gonna try it. And then for the last 2 books, these are the 2 books that I got this month. And I don't know which one I want to read, so I'm going to put them both up on my Twitter and do a poll. I'll put the poll results up here in just a second after I talk about the book, but these are the 2 options that I have. First is Sabbath by Nick Mamatas, I believe is his name. And this is like a kind of a religious book. The main character's last name is Sabbath, and he is a like holy fighter. What is the word? Was it he is an angel of the Lord is what it says in the description here. And he is dropped naked into modern day Manhattan and has to prevent the apocalypse by fighting the personification of the 7 deadly sins. I'm not much for like Christian fantasy, but this sounds weird enough that I'm willing to give it a try. This one also sounds like really weird. Basically what happens is a YouTube video is uploaded that if you follow the instructions in the YouTube video, you get superpowers. And the American government is trying to prevent people from getting superpowers. I don't know. And so apparently this is like a spy thriller, but with superpowers. So I don't know which one of these two I'm going to read right now, but the poll and whoever won is going to be right here. So this is who I'm going to read, but we'll see. I don't know. Anyway, I will be back in a little bit after I read Fate of the Fallen by Kellcade and let you know what I thought about that. Alright, I have finished Fate of the Fallen by Kellcade, and before I talk about what I felt about this book, I need to mention something because I'm afraid I'm going to screw it up. So, Kellcade does not use pronouns at all, and I respect people's use of pronouns. But I've never come across somebody who does not use pronouns. So anytime I refer to the author of this book, Kellcade, I will call Kell. So hopefully I don't fuck this up. This is a new experience for me, though it's experience I am happy to make. It's just new, so I might not be perfect at it. Anyway, Fate of the Fallen. As I think I said earlier, this is a story of what happens when your chosen one dies. And the way they do this is really interesting because it plays on the chosen one trope and the trope of prophecies. And there is a very, very firm, like, the entire universe that this world is based on has a prophecy that says a chosen one, and they have a description of the chosen one, they know who the chosen one is the only person who can save all of humankind, or all of life, not even all of humankind, all life period, from perishing. And there are many different lines of the prophecies, but the only line that successfully saves life is that of the chosen one. And 50 pages into this book, the chosen one dies. So, what do you do? Like, what do you do when your chosen one dies? And the answer for the majority of humanity in this book is they're just like, oh, okay, we're gonna die. So everybody kind of gives up, and they're just like, well, there's no other path where mankind lives, so why bother even trying anymore? The chosen one's dead, we're all fucked. Time to give up. And that's kind of what happens, except for the main character in this book, Aslo, Aaslo, I think is how I'm gonna say his name. He is Matthias, who was the chosen one. He's Matthias's best friend. And he was like, fuck this, I'm gonna try. Like, even if everybody dies, but I am going to try to save mankind. And he kind of gathers this group of misfits trying to save the world. And he doesn't want to be a chosen one. He's a forester and he just wants to go back and take care of the forest, but his entire personality is caring for living things, specifically a forest, but humanity and the rest of the world is his forest. And even if the prophecy says that he is going to fail, no matter what he does, that doesn't keep him from trying. And it's a really awesome premise, right? I enjoyed it, right? For the most part, I'm gonna give this a 4 stars. It's not quite a 5-star because Kell tries a little bit too hard for the humor in this book. And a lot of authors will have like that like weird sidekick where it's like a character who's there for kind of comedic relief or just to be like really cutesy, maybe doesn't talk. That kind of character, Kell makes every character kind of like that. Like, it's true like misfit characters. Like, only the misfit characters survive or care to try. And so every character is that like side character misfit character. And it feels a little bit like trying too hard with the comedy of it, but I get why Kell is doing it. I just want one non-misfit character, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, I enjoyed this. I will definitely be putting the second book on my TBR, so I'm very glad I got this in this book box. Next up is my poll, and as I said earlier, put a poll up for American Magic and Sabbath and had my Twitter followers choose which one they pick. And I didn't say anything about it. I was just like, hey, I got both of these in a book box. I don't know what either one of them is about. These are the covers. Pick which one I read. American Magic won with 56% of the votes, I think. So I am going to pick this up next. And this super shiny cover does not work well with my ring light, does it? Not at all. But I'll be back in a little bit, letting you know what I think about this one. Hello. So I know I recorded it, but I can't for the life of me find the footage for American Magic. I don't know what I did with it. So you get really bad camera angle from my cell phone. So sorry about that. So basically what this book is about is it's like one of those international spy thriller type novels where you've got an ex-CIA agent who doesn't want to listen to his superiors, but he's the best agent ever, and he has to be recalled because some stupid thing happened where magic got released on the dark web, and this is hard to hold up. Sorry. So magic got released on the dark web, and he has got to find this Merlin guy who released this magic, stop him, and then stop terrorists from using the magic to create terrorist acts. And he teams up with a woman and travels all over the world. You kind of have that like love story thing that these type of novels always have, but it's like super fucking generic as far as like that thriller genre goes. I haven't read many of them, but the story is very familiar. So if you really like those CIA or FBI or Army Ranger, Navy SEAL type of thrillers that's got like a tinge of romance to it, and then you also really like fantasy, this might be for you. This might be great for you. It's not my favorite genre, and honestly, this book, even like a week later, isn't particularly memorable. So I think I gave this 3 stars. It was okay. It wasn't like the worst thing I ever read, but I didn't love it by any means. Anyway, back to a better recorded clip for the next book. All right, final book, and I 100% understand why people gave this such a low rating, and I DNF'd it, as you could tell by my bookmark that's always sticking out the top of my DNFs. I wonder how many bookmarks I lose to DNF books. Anyway, yeah, Gork the Teenage Dragon. Basically, this is a story of a dragon, but in this universe, dragons are a race of like space invading aliens that like what is the phrase I'm looking for? They like invade new planets and completely destroy all life on the planet. So basically when a dragon comes of age, as they're like graduating dragon high school, they need to find a mate. And so the male and female dragons will mate. They have like a brood of eggs, and then the two dragons and the eggs go find a planet, and then they destroy all intelligent life on that planet and then repopulate the planet with dragons of like their descent. And if you don't find a mate, then you're a slave for the rest of your life, I believe. And this is from the perspective of Gork, obviously, as he is trying to find a mate. But Gork is kind of a nerd, so it doesn't seem likely that he's going to do that. And that's basically where I stopped. Like, I don't know if he actually found a mate or anything, because I quit with this bullshit. This is written in stream of consciousness writing, which I hate. And you know that character from Ant-Man that's like the storyteller guy, where so this one time, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then that happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. That's how this is written. And it's so fucking annoying to read. Also, this is like from the perspective of like a super horny adolescent teenage boy. And you know what? I don't have the interest in that kind of bullshit. I wasn't enjoying the writing at all, and I usually give books like this at least until 50 pages to see if I can get along with it. And right before I hit page 50, I hit a line that I was just like, I can't believe I just had to read that with my own two eyeballs. And since I had to read it with my eyeballs, you're going to have to hear me read it out loud with your ears. And in this particular line, he is talking about the girl dragon that he wants to mate with. And he said, I don't mean to sound perverted here. We're off to a bad start already. I don't mean to sound perverted here, but Runcita is stacked. And the way she bounces when she walks, it's a wonder she's able to keep all those glorious scaly curves moving in unison like that. It'd probably be easier to control a herd of camels if you get my drift. What the fuck does that even mean? I don't understand how you compare boobs to a herd of camels. What? But I hated that with every ounce of my being. And I was like, I'm done. I don't deserve to have to read this book. So I opted out, DNF'd. Next. Anyway, that is it for this video and pretty much it for this month. I do have a couple of other books that I want to like squeeze in the last 3 days of the month. You will see those on my end of month wrap up. So thank you for hanging out with me today. Let me know what you think about this book box down in the comments below. So far, it's kind of been hit or miss, but I think it's worth the cost. Like, what was it, like $17.50 a month for 2 hardback books? So even if there's an occasional one that I don't like, I'm still not mad at it. Anyway, I'll talk to you down in the comments and see you in the next video. Bye!